All right, how to do this. This is me. This is my first actual video of tripping with Dana. Filmed on my phone, where I realize I have to look at the camera to look you in the face. My feet to see where I'm going and the surroundings, and the screen to be seeing what you see, which is a whole lot of stuff to take care of all at once. But I finally decided to stop the inner critic and to just go do hola, bon dia. This is my neighbor Alice. I finally am kicking my own ass and have some allies to kick my ass as well, because I've been thinking about recording this videos for a while now, and I'm not doing it because I always think that the lighting is not perfect, my hair is not perfect, the background is not perfect, my clothes are not perfect, my house is not clean enough. And I have a very clear message. I have many messages really, but they don't get seen or heard. Why? Because I just don't put them online, because they never make it online. I have many videos on my phone. I'm gonna erase them all because it's not useful anymore. Got many videos on my phone about me talking about stuff that is useful, and then it never made the cut because it's not perfect enough, because my inner critic is just too critical. By the way, I'm walking through the village where I live now temporarily, which is a village that has very cute houses, but also lots of ruins, and it's like walking into like a movie scene. I'm just gonna take you with me here on this. Look at this. It's like being in a movie scene, really. Like we're looking through the window of this medieval house. Oh yeah, I watched a video about being ugly and being okay with that. I just saw myself being so ugly and being okay with it as well. So here, inner critic, this is me. And I'm not going to let you stop me anymore. So here I'm walking through this beautiful village of, I think these are sties or something. There's nothing in here. I always do this, right? Sometimes it's a bit scary, and I just go into a like little half decrepit, dilapidated, or what is the word, house, and I'm like, ooh, I'm a little bit scared of what I'm gonna find here, and yet I go in anyway. But this is what I do for fun. So this is my first video of tripping with Dana. And what does that mean, tripping with Dana? No, I'm not on mushrooms at the moment, not on any other stimulant or psychedelic either. I am just taking you on a trip. And also it's a bit of a mind trip because, yeah, like I just said, I'm trying not to crash down here. Okay. Like I just said, sometimes my mind is playing tricks on me, trying to really sabotage what I'm trying to do with my life. And what I've decided that I want to do right now anyway with my life is to, wow, this is a really steep decline. I don't think you can see it, but it must be like 45 degrees or something. So I'm walking tiny little baby steps, not to start running suddenly. What I've decided to do with my life is to be more and to do less. Which, how do you do nothing? You don't do nothing, obviously. I mean, you're always, oh, my hand is getting tired. Oops, see, I almost slipped. They just put this road here and it's not done, or I don't know if they're gonna keep going because there's no house anymore. Like, here's a house, there's a road, there's no house, there's no road. So Portuguese style might never come, you know, that road. Ooh, they've got passion fruit. sliding past the passion, but let's go have a look at it. I'm stealing one. Huh. Yes, but no. There's not much, not much in there. Anyway, but they've made this road and it's really nice. But it's a bit steep and it still has a lot of like sand or like little pebbles on it. So it's not the easiest to walk. Anyway, what I want to do with my life is to be more, do less, which means that what I do is actually nothing else than who I am. Because what I am is somebody who likes adventure, somebody who likes being in nature, somebody who likes, actually more than I thought, likes to play. I like discovering new things. I'm very much into astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I like astrology and I see the benefit of understanding astrology. And in my astrology, I have a lot of things in a lot of planets in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign of, well, among other things, adventure, but also exploration of the spiritual. So this is something that I really am interested in. I'm a coach and I love coaching. Every time I do a coaching session, I realize how much energy I get from this. And yeah, I love talking through concepts. And I realize that when I'm speaking with people, like I live in a conscious community of 2 people, me and somebody else right now. Still a community, it's not just me and all of the cats. But when I speak to people, they come to me and say that it was so useful, so helpful to just get my perspective. And that's what it is, right? It's just getting a different perspective. We all think in a certain way without being able sometimes to get out of our own perspective and to try a different perspective when we don't have one yet. Found a berry. I'm just sticking all kinds of stuff in my mouth as I am. Oh, look. You might also see that there's a bit of ADHD in these videos. If you cannot handle that, I'm not your gal. I cannot stay on the topic, but I'll get back to it if I can find my way back. Really good. Oh. The question is always, am I willing to risk my life for the berry that looks juiciest? Or am I going to be smart and just go for the less juicy berry, but also keep my legs intact? Jesus, decisions is not easy. Coming back to the subject. So people say that they are helped by just getting a different perspective. We don't get out of our own perspective easily. Ooh, dusty berries. Don't get out of our own perspective easily when we don't open up for new perspectives. And sometimes, we don't have the right people to give us a different perspective. I hope to be your person to give you a different perspective on things. So I'm just talking through things, trying to give you a different perspective, or just any kind of perspective. Maybe you totally agree with me already, or maybe you don't agree with me at all. That's inconsequential, it's not important. And in the meantime, I'm taking you on the trip because I'm living in Portugal. Today is a beautiful day to walk, and in this video I also want to speak about, but I will probably take more videos about this subject, but I just have to share this because it's so... I need a selfie stick, man. My arm is getting tired. Sorry, berries along the way. There's this thing that just happened. I was speaking to my twin flame. This is also something I coach on. Specific spiritual relationships. And my twin flame, just showing you how juicy these berries are. My twin flame and I are no longer together. We're no longer a romantic couple, but we are like supporting each other's soul growth. So we're always in connection. And she gave me a kick in the butt about posting this video because she pointed out that maybe it's not necessary to have it perfect, that it's just important to start posting things. And it gave me such good insights about my inner critic and how it is trying to sabotage everything I'm trying to do here. I mean, what I want is to share with you. What I want is to show you how beautiful it is to be in nature. I also walk in silence sometimes and just really observing nature. I've walked this part a lot, so I know exactly where I'm going. But there will also be videos later on where I'm going somewhere where I've never been and I probably lose my way. And it's almost getting dark and I don't know if I'm gonna make it back on time. You know, this is also my life. But right now I know where I'm going. I was very inspired as I was speaking to her because I realized that my inner critic is really sabotaging what I want to do, what I want to share, how I want to present myself, and presenting myself, not presenting myself as something I'm not, but really just presenting myself as I really am. So right now I'm talking very animatedly because I am. There might be other videos where I'm talking like I'm doing this walk and I really don't like this part of that. I just want, and this is how I coach people as well, to be their authentic self. So to not show up in a way that's like, hi, oh my God, it's so beautiful. But really just to be me, messy, like ADHD, going off topic all the time. And that's what I want to share. But then there's this inner critic comes in. Oh, you're changing the subject too much. You cannot use this video. Oh, this was not a very beautiful, like there was a fire 2 years ago. This is not a very beautiful thing to show. This is not good enough. The lighting is not good. Your face is too shiny. You're not wearing the right clothes. You cannot find the word that you're looking for. Then Sabrina, my twin flame, she said, yeah, fuck that, you know, just post it anyway. I'm just looking for excuses to not do it, to not do what I want to do. And the message is not being heard because I'm not actually putting the video online. So this is the video. But the thing is, I was so inspired when I was speaking with her. And I was like, yes, you're right. I have to start making videos. I have to start actually doing it, not just talking about it, not just thinking about it, not just planning it, sitting behind my computer, but actually walking around or not walking around. She said, if you are in the kitchen, then just make a video in the kitchen. People understand that you are also going outside sometimes. You don't have to always go outside, because that's what I used to do. I would used to run outside if I have a message. Then the weather wasn't perfect. And then I would be like, okay, forget the message. The weather is not good. There's too much noise outside, whatever. There was always some kind of reason. But now the weather is perfect. I have a very clear message. My phone has battery, which is also great. I do not care that I'm not looking in the camera all the time. Actually, everything is perfect. The only thing is that I had to work today. And I don't actually work anywhere else but for myself. But I had promised my beautiful friend Nadia at Freedomville that I would help her out with something like an event that they needed some extra people for. So I said to Sabrina, my twin flame, shit man, I'm so energized. I feel so inspired. But unfortunately, I have to work. I said, that's fine. It's going to be fun there. And I'm actually also looking forward to being there. It's just too bad that I have this energy of going to do something and now I can't because I have to work. And then I'm sitting behind my desk thinking, okay, I have about 20 minutes left and then I have to leave. And that moment, my phone rings and it was Nadia and she said, hey, I actually think that we don't need you today because we have enough people and things are actually fine here. They're going really smooth. So no real need. And I was like, oh my God. And I know this, and this is what I want to talk about. 15 minutes in, I'm getting to the point. It's not true. The point started when I started talking. But the point of what I wanted to get to, is what I thought anyway, what I wanted to get to is synchronicities and manifestation. So with my thought and my enthusiasm somewhere else, and speaking it out, for me this is something that is very, very, I have to be very, very careful for that. I'll get back to that in a minute. Speaking the words are spelled, we actually create in the world. And this is something I also, let's say, teach about or share my perspective and opinion about. But we teach, we create by using our words or our language, our thoughts, first our thoughts, but then we actually speak it out into the world. Then it can manifest as well, can manifest faster than just holding the thoughts. I want to go to an example, but let's just stick to the topic. Why don't we? It's on topic, but anyway, I manifested that I didn't have to work because my energy was somewhere else. That's where we're going, just taking the long route. I manifested that I didn't have to work, and I laughed because when Nadia called me, I was laughing. I'm like, wow, that manifestation is so fast in the last couple of. It's going faster and faster, and I know manifestation is my thing. I know that I'm a very strong manifester, and I don't mean something human design. I'm a generator, not a manifester, and I'm not a manifesting generator. So I just mean that I have manifestation power, like everybody has manifestation power, but mine is quite strong. And I also realize that with this strong manifestation power, oh, see how not perfect this is. I'm not even filming my head. With this manifestation power comes great responsibility. And I'll give you a couple of examples when I stand still, because I finally kind of reached the destination. Hold that thought. I'm going to try and not break my leg here. So I'm just going to go down. Look, trip with me. Don't trip with me. I don't mean trip and do like a dive onto your head, onto these stones. It's too bad, huh? You can never really see how fantastic it is. I'm being gripped by a bush here. Is this the best way? Probably not. Okay, let me just go up there again. I've had a couple of very strong examples of manifestation lately, and the beautiful thing is I have them online because I happen to be filming then. And that is that a while ago I saw a snake, and this snake was I was walking through the river because I love doing that. And as I was walking through the river, at one point I came to a rock, and while I was walking through the river, I was like, oh, I really hope I don't see a water snake, because I don't like water snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of water snakes because of the way they fast slither through the water, which is not much faster than when they slither over the land, but for some reason in my mind it's much more scary when they're in the water. I don't know, maybe because they can go down and you don't see them anymore. I haven't really thought about why this is so scary to me, but that's not the point. Then as I walked on while thinking I hope I don't see a water snake, I saw a snake laying on a rock, like it was, I don't know, 40 centimeters long or something. Pretty big snake. And I thought, wow, I shouldn't have thought about the snake because now it's there. And most people might think, or I don't know, yeah, most people probably might think, I'm just going to sit down for a bit. Most people might think, yeah, that's just coincidental. Okay, let me keep talking to you and see if you still think it's coincidental. I saw the snake. I was thinking, okay, good, it's on a rock. It's laying still, it's not in the water. It's I have a picture of it. I might put it here. Snake. I saw my neighbor the next day. I mean neighbor as in I'm also living on the land. And on the land I am living in a caravan. Right now I'm living in a house. But she's living on the land next to our land in this community of two people that I'm living in. And I told her, I saw a snake. It was on the land. Luckily, it was not a water snake because I don't like water snakes. The next day, I was sitting doing the dishes at the river. We call that the fish washer because the fish eat all of the stuff from our dishes. And while I was sitting there. I was living here for 1.5 years already. Never seen a snake, never seen a water snake here. I saw a water snake. It was not a very big one, but it just went down, and I thought they were always on the surface of the water, but this one went down into the rocks, and I was like, so they're between the rocks. Creepy. But I was doing the undoing challenge, which I will link to below, I think is how people say this and how they do it, you know. So I'm linking below to the challenge, and if you want you can do it, because it's a free challenge, and it's just to challenge yourself on beliefs and on the things that you're doing and the things that you might not have to do. So I was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go into the water, and I'm going to film a video about not being scared. So this was the Unscaring Yourself week, and I went into the water, and I was just about to film. The camera wasn't rolling yet, but I was trying to figure out where to stand and not to have the sun straight in my face, because I was still very concerned about the light and stuff. So standing in the water, just about to film, and then a huge water snake just passed me by, one meter next to me. Like, I was standing in the water, and then I looked behind me, and from behind, like this big snake, like 40-50 centimeter long snake, maybe no, much longer. It was a very long snake, and it just like maybe it was a meter. Now I don't remember. I said it in the moment, so just check the video if you want facts. Mercury and Capricorn is me too. I want facts, but it was passing me by, and I was just looking at it. I was like, oh, fuck! It's a huge snake. And it just passed me by. It just went into the like it went out of the water into the bushes on the other side of the river where I was. What the fuck is that? It's a pair of socks. Okay, I thought it was a mole. Somebody left a pair of socks here. Off topic. Anyway, I'm just putting it back there so that people can find it when they're looking for it. So that was a snake, and it was in the water, and I was next to it, and I was just trying to say in this video, you'll see in the video if you want to watch it, I'll put it right here. I don't know if that actually works. Maybe it's somewhere else. If it's not here, it's there, below, whatever, however people do that. But the thing is, I manifested that by keeping it in my mind and then speaking it out loud. Because I said to my neighbor, yeah, luckily that was a small water snake. It was only 40 centimeters. That was 40 centimeters long. This was a meter long. I remember now. So I said, yeah, luckily that was a small snake and not one of a meter long. And then the next day I saw one that was a meter long. So manifestation is magic to people who do not understand. Who do not understand manifestation. Who do not understand how energy works. But I do understand how energy works, and still sometimes I forget it. Because still sometimes I'm just saying things without thinking too much about it, or thinking too much about it and still saying it, and then they manifest. So today was a very good example of that, where I manifested not having to work, because now I'm laying on the grass next to this, it's called a river beach. On this river beach next to the river, and recording this video that I said that I had to record for a while now, instead of working at Freedom Voice. Is also fun, of course, but that's beside the point. But a more dangerous way of using your manifestation power is, I found a cat a while ago, maybe, what is it now, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I actually have 2 cats, and I want to be more free, so I said that I actually want less cats, not more cats, and now I have 3 instead of 2. And then the last cat that I just found, it got really sick, and I thought it was gonna die. And then I realized, shit, I almost killed my cat by saying, that's not curiosity, that was just stupidity, by saying that I did not want more cats. And realizing that by speaking that out, I actually create the circumstances to take that cat away. And that's not what I wanted. So I have to be way more careful. Words are spells. That's why it's called spelling. I don't know if it's called spelling. Yeah. How do you spell that? Yeah, that's in English as well. I'm Dutch. So in Dutch, we call it spelling, is the correct way of putting words together and whole sentences as well. we are creating sounds, and those sounds are vibrations, and those vibrations manifest. So that's why we call this spelling, and that's why we call things spells. And if you are not careful with what you say, you can accidentally put a spell on someone. If you curse someone, like you say, I curse you, not I say I curse you, but you curse to someone, I wish you were dead or something. This is an actual energetic attack to someone. And this is very dangerous actually, but we are not aware what we're doing with our energy. So cursing people, saying bad things to people can actually kill them. And you can see that in, I don't know, I don't think it's not just the US, but when people bully one person until they take their lives, that is the actual physical clear manifestation. Oh, I'm starting to burp right away. Okay, forget about that. Just let's not talk about that any longer. But yeah, so words are spells. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you do with your energy. Be careful how you express yourself, because it might just happen. So I realize I've been manifesting quite useless things, which are not completely useless, because I was making a point about not being afraid, about water snakes, and then I manifested a water snake to underline my point, which is beautiful. And I think mainly I'm manifesting these things to convince myself that it works that way, and to remind myself to be a little bit more careful with what I wish for. But the manifestation now would be good if I start manifesting that I have a lot of followers, that I have a lot of money. So if you want to send money, if you want to follow, here, this is easy. If you want to follow me, please do subscribe and like and comment. I know that people say this at the end of the YouTube videos. I always watch YouTube videos and people say this, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I do like and subscribe. Usually I don't usually comment, but now I see why this is necessary. Because we want to grow the channel. We, as in all the people that are trying to make something happen for other people that is useful. So subscribing is very useful. It's very useful if you like, and it's very useful if you comment. So if you feel called to that, of course don't do it when you don't feel it, but absolutely do it, because I'm manifesting lots of followers who are going to be inspired to be tripping with me. And now I'll get to what I'm trying to also manifest, which is Tripping with Dana. This is my YouTube channel. But what I actually want to do eventually, okay, so I'm gonna get to one more point later, but what I actually want to do is I want to trip with people here. So I'm a coach, and I can tune into people's emotions, because I'm an empath. I can feel what happens in other people's bodies. I can feel their shame, their emotions, their sadness, their fear, their anger, their joy, their happiness, their excitement. I can feel everything, and that's very useful while coaching. So what I would love to do is to put all of my excitements together, which is coaching, which is being in nature, which is playing, which is climbing on things, which is a little bit harder with a phone in my hand. So I'm also manifesting a GoPro, so that I can just mount it to my forehead or my chest or my whatever, on a stick or something that is hanging here and filming me from the top. I don't know how that works. I've never had a GoPro in my life. This is also one of the things that I thought I needed before I could start making a video. I'm making this video. I'm staring into what I think is a camera over here, not knowing if I'm actually looking at the camera, because I can't look here and there at the same time. But I trust that if I look there, I'm actually looking you in the eye, right into the window of your soul. So look, if I'm looking at you and you feel that you want to trip with me here in Portugal or anywhere else really, I'm also manifesting right away that if there's a beautiful opportunity to trip somewhere else, that I'm very happy to come to another country and trip there with you. Tripping with Dana is coaching, but coaching in a playful way where we also move through what is coming up. Because I really do feel like that's why I like walking while I'm talking. It's because there's so much energy and I cannot sit still. If I sit still, like I was laying down before, I can't, because the energy wants to move. So I want to move. Now I'm sitting, but I'm still moving my hand because there's so much energy, and that's why I'm speaking fast. So energy wants to move. Emotions are energy emotion. So it wants to move through us. And that's why I think tripping, while going on a trip while speaking, is going to be so much more fun than, you know, this traditional idea of the Freudian kind of Freud sitting in an armchair with a note block and the other person laying on a chaise-longue or a sofa, being interrogated about their lives. This is not how I want to do it. I want to sit here, maybe with our feet in the water, maybe climbing on something and talking. Like what is going on in your life? Why is it not working? Why is it working? What is working? What is your excitement? What are your fears? Why are you ashamed? Why do you feel that you're meant for more and you're not actually doing it? All kinds of things, all kinds of questions that might come up that you are running into. Why do you feel that you are spiritual but you cannot express it because you are afraid that people think you're crazy? Because that's also a phase that I went through. Why are you not expressing yourself authentically? Why are you not in a relationship that you think, that you feel that you need? Why are you doing a job that you hate? Why are you afraid of leaving that job? Oh, there's so many questions that we could talk about. How can I improve my intuition? How do I let my higher self lead me on the path instead of trying to trust my mind to lead the way? There are many, many different subjects that we can talk about. And I would love to do that while being in nature, while discovering new places, eating nice food. In Tripping with Dana, I also invite you to stay here on the land or at Freedomville or in another place where I actually live right now, which are 3 different tiers of luxury, let's say. So if you want to be in the rural nature, you can be there. If you want to be in a little bit more of a house type setting, there's another house as well. And if you want to be more in a luxury setting, there's Freedomville that we can go to. And then we can do coaching. We can cook together. We can make I want to say a forest fire. Let's not do that. We can make up a campfire. Not now because it's fire season, so not doing that. But outside of the fire season, we can make a campfire. We can do a cacao ceremony. We can sit. We can practice intuition. There's so many things that we can do. So I would love to invite you to trip with me. Trip with me and be excited and sit here and let's put our feet in the water. I don't even actually know if I can reach. And I need a GoPro because if I drop my phone, I'm losing my phone and also my means of speaking to you. Can you see yourself sitting here next to me, or here actually, and then putting your feet in the water? Ooh, somehow in my mind a water snake is coming up, biting my toe. Can you see yourself sitting here just enjoying the absolute beauty of this place? There's no one here, no one. It's amazing. So if you see yourself doing this with me, then definitely check out my website, which at the moment I don't think has anything on it about Tripping with Dana, but I will put that on there soon enough. But you can also just send me a message and I can give you the brochure that I'm still working on. I have to manifest that into being, that is done as well. But I definitely have more information for you if you are interested. But that's what I want to do with my life right now. And I'm manifesting it right now. So no more inner critic. That shit ends now. No more like waiting for the perfect circumstances, because right now this video is going to go online. And I also want to give a shout out to, I don't know what her name is, but I'll link the... Yes, and this is why I have to manifest more storage space, because my phone ran out of storage space. And this girl that I was talking about, I will link her name and YouTube channel below. She said, and inspired me greatly, she said, just all you need to do is just make the video and upload it. So I'm running out, doing the video and trying to upload it, and then I ran out of storage space. So yeah, okay. But it was very inspiring, so I am linking down below. And I hope that this was inspiring for you too, and that you love walking around with me, tripping with me, listening to me speak, having maybe a new perspective on things. And if you do really want to come and visit me in this beautiful place or somewhere else, then I very much want to invite you to come and trip with me live, and like, subscribe and comment, and that will probably very much help this channel. And as a second thing that I want to say, wait, let me just finish this video and then record another one before it's full again. As another thing that I want to say is that this is an experiment also for the people who are starting a YouTube channel, because I am in real life now starting this channel, and I have no idea. I have 16 followers now, of which most of the people are people I know. So thank you for those people, and thank you for the few people that I don't know yet that actually are following me right now and are commenting. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking you in the eye. I wasn't looking into the camera. So thank you for those people. I am really on this trajectory of getting to know what it is to be a YouTuber, whatever that is, and going as an experiment, really trying to see, okay, how does that work, getting more followers. So follow me one-on-one in real time to see what is happening here, because yeah, this girl said it took me 1.5 years to get I don't know how many followers. I have 16. Are you counting with me? Let's try to make that more, and let's see what happens then. And then what are the perks of having lots of followers? Like, are we going for the million? Are we going for the million? I don't know. Let's try it. Let's manifest 1 million followers in, I don't know, a year. Let's try manifest 1 million followers in half a year. Let's I think I can do that. I have manifestation power. So yes, then if you share this with other people, that would really help. That would help for the manifestation. So let's try this. Let's try it out. And if you're interested and curious about making your own channel, I am doing the groundwork for you. So that's another perk of this. If you want to know what it's like to start a YouTube channel, I am doing it, and I'm doing it with no pre-knowledge or education or understanding of how YouTube even works. So if I can do it, you can do it. So follow me for success or complete failure, but manifestation, follow me for success. Okay, I would love to see you around, and would love to see you in the comments. And I would love to trip with you. So have a beautiful day. I'm going to enjoy the cool weather here in the July summer in Portugal. Have a beautiful day.